How many of you have ever heard of attribution models before? Okay, quite a few of you. I would imagine that probably wasn't to do with Metrica, but another tool. I want to show you how it works in Metrica, because this is one of the reasons why using analytics tool is important on top of, for example, ad systems and social media systems. So, what is the goal of, what's the purpose of attribution models? They help you assess the significance of certain visits to your website. And that significance is judged by the number of conversions that each source brings. What do I mean by that? Well, we've got an example. So let's imagine the following scenario. Do you remember our friend Martin? He's going shopping and he wants to buy something. So what is he going to buy?
Car.
A washing machine. Okay? So Martin is going shopping to buy a washing machine and he's going online shopping, okay? So what does he do? Well, the first thing that he would do, if he was based in Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, or any other market where Yandex is available as a search engine, he would go into Yandex search engine, right? And he would type into the search box, washing machine. Guess what? He would see an ad, washing machines from WashPro. He would click on that ad, okay? And then maybe he would do something on the website, but then he would leave the website because nobody buys the first time that they land on your website. That's the fact. So then he would go on Facebook and he would be browsing different things, well, browsing, looking at what his friends are doing, and guess what? The washing machine is following him, okay? So he gets a second ad from the WashPro company. He clicks on it. He goes into the website, again, browses maybe a few more pages, but he doesn't buy, because nobody buys the second time they go into your website, believe it or not. So then, 3 days later, Martin is ready to buy. And he remembers that the WashPro was one of the companies that he was considering to buy from. He goes directly into their website, selects the washing machine that he wants, and buys, completes the purchase. So, during the following visit, during all of these visits, he's actually done completely different things. But the last visit source resulted in a purchase. So imagine if we were just to assess the success of our campaign through the last source, attributing the conversion to the last source. Your direct visits, or WashPro's direct visits, would have the largest conversion rate. And this is a typical mistake made by people who start working with online campaigns, that they attribute to the last visit. And the last visit always ends up being, or in a lot of the times, it ends up being direct visit. So how can we solve this problem? Well, we've already talked about that, right? That this is the last visit, the last click. The last click would result in the last visit. But really, when Martin learned first about us? PPC ad. That's the first thing that he did. That was the first source that took him to our website, to WashPro's website. Okay? But then again, what about Facebook ad? That was also important. Maybe that gave him a discount. Maybe this advertiser set up a campaign that shows the Facebook ads only to those people who visited your website before from a PPC ad, which you can do. So Facebook maybe was showing him some very interesting discount that actually made him consider it later on when he went back to the website and bought. Okay? So this is the very important thing. Attribution models in Metrica takes into the account all of these different situations, and then you decide which scenario you want to use to attribute your conversions, for which visits you want to attribute your conversions. And we've got 3 attribution models. First click, and last significant click. I think first click, it's quite easy to understand now, right? That all of the conversions would be attributed to the first time Martin visited WashPro website. So it would be attributed to the first source of the first visit. Last click would attribute conversions to the source of the last visit. But what's interesting, really interesting option that Metrica has that the big competitor doesn't, is that it has the option for last significant click-through. What does it mean is that all of the visit types, sources types, are divided into significant and secondary. And secondary ones are automatically marked as insignificant. So despite the fact that someone may have visited your website directly, this will be ignored and the source will be attributed to the previous visit. So that would be, in that example, which ad? Facebook ad. Awesome, Mitka. Yeah. Okay. Very important for assessing your success of your campaigns. That's very important to get that right. Okay. So, attribution models. How many we've got in Metrica?
3.
Awesome. What's the first one?
First click.
First click. What's the second one? Yeah, and the first one? That's quite easy to figure out. Awesome. Every source report in Metrica allows you to select what's the attribution model that you want to use. Very important to check that first.